One Team Media.
We showed you what the GOAT was last year when we beat y'all 50-7.
Let's go! One team!
Relax, big boy.
One team, one podcast. One team, one podcast.
Team One Podcast?
One Team One Podcast?
Yeah, they did a good job.
Really good job.
Yeah. Why is he so fat?
One team, one podcast. One team, one podcast. One team, one podcast.
Fat.
One team, one podcast.
All right, welcome back. One Team, One Podcast. We have a full house.
Yeah.
It's Matt, Jack, obviously.
Right.
We have Sam, an intern. No, Sam. Well, Sam. We have a lot of interns. A lot of people helping out.
We have an intern right behind me.
William is helping
William
out
Wave.
over here.
William Wave.
Willie B is what I like to call him. Willie B's in the house. We have a team now.
Yeah.
It's so official.
Uh-huh.
We have sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
We got a legitimate business going on.
We do.
Maybe illegitimate sometimes as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of things happening with One Team, One Podcast. We have One Team Media as well. We have other podcasts that are kind of joining in. We have new sponsors that we're adding to it as well. And we're going to go through our list of sponsors in just a second.
Right.
But I wanted to bring on one of our newest sponsors, which is River City's Total Maintenance. Lucas Ragusa at River City's Total Maintenance. We'll bring him on right now. Lucas, what's happening, buddy?
What's up, brother? Good to hear from you.
Man, so
Let me take that off.
you don't have to. Well, you can if you want. So we have your information on the screen right now. Lucas, tell us how long we've known each other.
Matt, we're probably pushing 30 plus, man. We went to
It's gotta
middle
be.
school together.
Kenilworth Middle School.
Dominated me at Kenilworth Middle. when I
So let me
didn't
tell
know.
you, the Kenilworth Middle School football team that we had was the best middle school team that I've ever seen.
That's where we play basketball a lot of the time.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
So
How many people from that middle school team went on to play Division I ball? Because it seems like it was
Desmond
3 or
Williams,
4.
Desmond Williams with Kenny Harrison,
I don't know that Kenny
big
did,
time athlete.
but wasn't Myron on that team?
Myron Turner was on that team. Yes, so we had a lot of different D1 athletes for sure. But all right, let's get to it. River City's Total Maintenance, Lucas. Tell me
man.
about River City. I know you've done a lot of these live reads before, so tell me what you guys got going on. Harahan, right?
Yeah. So we're in the Greater New Orleans area. We service basically all the way around the lake is our service area. So
North Shore, right?
yeah, North Shore. So we're New Orleans, Metairie, Kenner, West Bank, Slidell, Covington, Mandeville, Hammond, Ponchatoula, Laplace, some of the river parishes, but not all the way into Houma. And Matt, I've been a part of a few great teams, and I tried to play quarterback at one time, and it's kind of fun to be doing it in the business world and
Yeah,
being a part of leading and bringing together a group of guys that, man, we all pull together. We all,
right.
do what needs to be done in order to get the client taken care of.
Dude,
It's
y'all got to
kind of,
be so busy right now, huh?
well, it's definitely ramping up, and our company in New Orleans isn't just air conditioning. We are
Mhm.
also electrical service as well as plumbing service and generator install and
Hence
repair.
the
So
total maintenance.
hence the total maintenance, which is
Absolutely.
part of the reason for wanting to um, you know have that as part of our the name of the company. We wanted people to be able to have one place to go, one group of guys to take care of them, and we're doing great, man. We grow every year and get bigger, and I think we're just shy of 30 employees and about 20 vehicles, serving the greater New Orleans area, and
Yeah.
for everybody from Baton Rouge, from Baton Rouge, grew up in Baton Rouge, got my start at River City Air,
Right.
which then morphed into River City's 1 Hour, our sister company. They
Mhm.
do some amazing things as well, even though it is just AC. So kind of taking over South Louisiana here, bro.
That's
Doing
awesome,
doing our
man.
thing,
Yeah,
man.
and I love being a part of a company in New Orleans. We're kind of upstart here too, and I like branching out into the New Orleans area. I know we have New Orleans listeners. Tulane Billy's from New Orleans
Yeah,
for sure.
Tulane Billy for
Kenna,
sure.
Kenna, bruh.
Can I, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know you know the lingo now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But you had
Matt, I've been in New Orleans actually longer than I worked in the Baton Rouge market. I've been here since Katrina, and I feel part of the fabric of New Orleans. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to say that prior to being here because I only came to go to Bourbon Street like 6 times. But I said this, before Katrina happened, it would have been hard to get me down here, in the water, and if it would ever happen again, it'd be hard to get me out.
right.
I have a lot of friends, a lot of relationships that have been built here, and this is our home. So we're
And
we're, we're happy to be here.
you're one of the biggest Saints fans that I've ever met. So you being in New Orleans kind of fits. People that have never met you before, if they met you, they'd probably say the same thing. Like you just fit with New Orleans. So I don't know if anybody's ever told you that before, but
I take it as a compliment, brother. I mean, it's
absolutely,
last 15 years we've had something to pull for sure.
exactly. This is
As
the
far as
golden era. I mean,
yeah, man.
man, me and you grew up in some bad times for Saints and LSU football. So
I was actually reading some information on Jim Everett today. I had forgot
Chris
that he was our quarterback. No, don't call him Chrissy. He'll get upset. But yeah, man, from the Billy Bob Joe days to
Yep.
the Everett days to
Steve
Steve
Walsh.
Walsh, and
Yep.
yeah, man, we've been completely spoiled by Mr. Drew Brees, but
Danny Werfel.
uh, poor
Tommy
Danny,
Hodson.
poor Danny.
No,
Oh
I know. He
man,
had no
but
chance.
he has done some tremendous things in this city. Still
Absolutely.
doing
He's
tremendous things in this city.
oh,
So
great guy. So,
just didn't have Spurrier's playbook, so it didn't work out.
what you think about Tebow going over to Urban Meyer over there
I wish he'd have started playing tight end whenever he was drafted.
a long
'Cause
time ago?
yeah, he would have been a great one. Either that or fullback. I mean, it makes sense. Urban is going to run some similar things that he ran at Florida. So
Yeah.
whether Tebow is a tight end or a coach on the field, which is kind of what I think is going to go on there, I don't have a problem with it. It's his old coach. It was, and it's Tim. I mean, I would take him on my team. When he cried after that loss and then came back and won the national championship and did the Gator Chomp on was it OU they played?
OU.
Yeah.
Sam Bradford.
I was a Gator fan that day. I was like, yeah, that's pretty nice, Timmy. But I think he'll do well, man. Whether or not he's going to start, that we'll have to see. But
Well, we got Brad Johnson coming on later today, so I'm gonna put you on the hot seat, and we're gonna have you on like every couple of weeks here. So this isn't the last time I'll ask you, but Brad or Miles? I mean, Max or Miles?
dude, for me, it's Miles.
Okay.
I think Miles looked better in the spring game. I think he is confident. I think he knows how to operate the system. And the guy has served his time. And I really think he was better in the spring game than Max. Now, Max is incredible. Max offers a ton of attributes like being able to move in the pocket like Flynn used to, maybe even a little bit better. And he's a Southie. So, I
Gotta
mean,
love a good football,
he's
man.
going to be how we wound up with the problem that we have at quarterback is beyond me, but I will take this problem because this is the one you need. Your trigger guy is very important. And we have a wealth at that position. So it'll be fun to see how it plays out.
Lucas, we appreciate your time, buddy. We'll have you back on for sure. And whenever we don't have guests, we'll have you on for a lot longer.
Definitely. Hey, listen, guys, I really appreciate the time.
The Office later.
The Office episode of the week. Were you an Office watcher?
Dude, no. But it's one of those that I need to binge because I've seen some of the stuff that you guys done, and I'm like, man, the dude is so funny. I need to watch it.
It's a great show.
I was watching some of the Broken Barrier stuff that they were doing, and I'm like, golly, man, this thing is just too funny. But no, congratulations on your successes, bro. I'm proud to be a part of what you guys have going on.
Dude, you're one of the most trustworthy guys that I know of. So having you guys a part of this is the best.
Man, look, I'm just glad to know the dopey-faced podcast guy. It makes me so happy.
I'll get you a shirt. We're gonna get Matt Moscona to sign it for you.
Yeah. Good luck.
Podcast guy. Yeah, I think he will. He's got an ego on him, so I think he will.
Yeah. Well,
Charles Hanagriff's on hold. I'm sure he knows. So we'll ask him about it too.
I'm sure he's listening right now. But look, guys, congratulations again. Looking forward, to your continued success, and looking forward to being a part of the podcast.
Thank you, Lucas. Appreciate it, buddy.
Talk to you soon, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, with that, we're going to bring on our first guest, none other than Hannyville, Charles Hanagriff.
Hannyville.
And we have a little intro music for our guy. Charles Hanagriff, how you doing today, buddy?
Hey, look, that music brings a smile on my face every time I hear it. So
I'll play it again for you if you want. So,
I know the words.
Charles, we appreciate you coming on. There was a lot of things that we wanted to talk to you about, and I think the first thing was the Efton Reed signing for us was just humongous. So we wanted to bring you on for that, but we're going to talk a little football as well. So we were just talking to Lucas Ragusa. You may know Lucas from back in the day. He used to call in Jimmy Ott's show all the time. But we were talking to him about the Max and Miles quarterback competition. What are your thoughts of it so far? Because I have some thoughts that I wanted to run by you after you tell yours.
They're going to name Miles Brennan the starting quarterback, and he's going to start the opener at UCLA. Because if they don't, he's going to transfer.
That's exactly
what you said last week.
Huh? My exact thoughts.
Now, I think they value Max Johnson's ability to move more. I think they believe he's the better quarterback, but they can't afford to put him in there at first.
Yep.
Because if they do, Brennan's going to transfer, and I wouldn't blame him. Johnson won't transfer. If Brennan beats him out, he won't transfer. He'll stay there because he's going to beat Brennan out eventually, and he'll be the starting quarterback. It might be by the middle of October, the beginning of November. I don't know when it's going to be. And listen, if that doesn't happen, if Brennan has an unbelievable year, if he has a Joe Burrow year, then everybody's fine. But the deal is they've got 3 quarterbacks on campus right now, and they got to keep 3 quarterbacks when they go to the Rose Bowl. And if they name Max Johnson the starting quarterback, Brennan's going to transfer. And if they name Brennan the starting quarterback, Johnson's not going to transfer. So that's why I believe Miles. And I don't know that there's a ton of difference between the two as far as LSU's ability to win, but I know that Max Johnson provides more options for them. But they got to keep 3 quarterbacks on a scholarship. They do not want a repeat of 2018, where if Joe Burrow doesn't stay upright, it's a disaster. And I'm talking about a 4-8 disaster. So they don't want to take a chance on that. So I think Miles Brennan's the starting quarterback.
I completely agree with you. So that's exactly what we were kind of talking about last week was, I mean, you go back to this whole roster management issue that we were having last year, and this is the way they're going to fix that roster management is they're going to have to play guys just to hold guys on the roster.
Right.
And we're fooling around a little bit, but we're going to talk to Brad Johnson in a second, and I want to ask him, like, if Miles is the quarterback, what happens? So I know Max is staying, and Jake's coming. Yeah, they're invested in LSU, but yeah, Miles could go to Southern Miss and start right now. So that's kind of our issue there. What are you seeing out of LSU right now as far as, roster management was the big problem that I saw last year was, we were applauding the whole NFL draft last year because of how many guys got drafted. But then you look back and you're like, well, we could have managed that a little bit better, huh? I had a lot of guys coming back. What are you seeing now and how they're kind of fixing that problem?
It's a completely different type of roster management than it was even 3 years ago. Transfer portal changed everything. So now you have you've got multiple layers of recruiting. You have in roster recruiting, and then we used to talk about attrition. Guys that left your program as a death knell. If you had a lot of attrition to your program, you were never going to be able to establish any kind of continuity. Well, that's not true anymore. Now it's you can go back and you lose 3 offensive linemen, you can gain 3 offensive linemen that have the exact same level of experience. Mm-hmm. So now, when you get to the end of the season, we used to like to do this thing like next year's roster. Well, you try to do that 2 days after the season, it's a fool's errand. All you can do is wait and watch it out. I mean, basketball is a great example of that. Mm-hmm. All you can do is try to replace the guys the best you can, and you have more options than you did now. Right. And listen, when you get a recruit, a high school recruit, I've dealt recruiting for 30 years. You get the guy. Oh, well, he's the guy. He's great. If he goes to the other school, well, we didn't really want him, or he's got this problem or this problem. Well, now that's going to be the thing with the transfer portal. Mm-hmm. Jalen Cook, you think the school getting Jalen Cook is excited to get him?
Oh, definitely. Tulane is going Tulane.
And Tulane, Tulane's saying, "Hey, look, Jalen Cook.
Thank God.
That was great, right? Exactly. But what is LSU saying? Well, we didn't need him. We got somebody better. What is Illinois saying about Adam Miller?
Right.
Well, sure. LSU got him, but we didn't really want him. It's going to be a complete revamp of your rosters every year. We're not used to it. I mean, we're not used to it at all. And if we think
Dick Vitale's really not used to it.
Well, I'm sorry, Dick. I understand. And I've met Dick Vitale. I've interviewed Dick Vitale. I think Dick Vitale is good for the sport, or was.
Yeah, as a personality.
Okay, now, but he's just a little bit too naive now, or he's just playing out the string. He's playing out the string. Okay, I met Dick Vitale in 1992. Okay, I thought he was great for the sport, and I'm all for somebody that is enthusiastic about the sport. But come on, man, you can't tell me that only the schools that are 15 to 45 are cheating, and the schools 1 to 15 are pristine. Come on, man. Right. It's not even right.
I know you're not a big Twitter guy, but did you see the video that Dick Vitale did? I think it was only probably around noon or 4 hours ago, and it was about Dick
Kentucky
Vitale
and Duke, right?
We just saw it just before we came on, and it was how Kentucky and Duke will be back. They will reload and all this thing. And he was doing it, and I could tell by the pictures in the background, I think he was doing it from John Calipari's office. He was literally making a visit to Kentucky, and he did it from the office, and he did a big shot of it. Yeah, how in the bag is he for, all the big guys that he's used to? And do you feel like this is like a complete, like, people are telling Dick, you need to go after these guys. You need to go after Will Wade. You need to go after Sean Miller. Not so much Bill Self, but those other guys that are ruffling feathers.
First of all, I agree with Vital. Duke will be back, and Kentucky will be back. But
Absolutely, they will.
No arguments there.
Yeah.
What? He's 80 years old, right? Okay. He's got a handful of years left in the business. He's made friends. He's had influence. Man, if I'm 80, is he 80 or 82? I don't even know. One of you guys have got Google there. But he's over 80.
Jack, Google
it. He's over 80. He's dealt with
81.
Calipari. He's 81. Okay. So how many years does Dick Vitale have left in the business? 2, 3, 4, 5. What does it matter? He's not going to go out and try to foster relationships with what's Wade, 37,
right?
With those coaches, it's going to be past his time. He's gonna go to the grave with the Rick Pitino's and the Mike Krzyzewskis and the John Caliparis, because that's what he knows. Listen, guys, I've been in this business 30 years. Okay, I'm a lot more loyal to the people that I've dealt with for 25 than the guys I've dealt with for 4.
Right.
Okay, it's human nature. Okay, if I were Dick Vitale, I'd probably be doing the same damn thing. They're not going to fire him at ESPN if he criticizes Will Wade,
right?
Or if he criticizes Sean Miller. What the hell does he care? He's going to cash a check. He's going to call the top games, and the LSU fans are going to be mad at him. What the hell does he care? Well, why? It's not going to affect his bottom line. It's not going to affect his job status. So who does he care who he pisses off?
I'm waiting for you to say it's free right now.
Well, for Dick Vitale, it's free. Yeah, sure.
We had a comment in the chat just now from Craig Dugas. Hanny better be wearing his floral patterned shirt. I don't think you are right now, so probably disappointment for.
Can you guys see me? Because I told Jackson I had to.
No, we took it off. We took it off. So just audio.
Okay. I had to do this while I was driving. I apologize. It was just.
No, you're all good.
The circumstances. Okay. So
yeah, you're good.
For the record, I'm wearing a blue shirt.
Okay. Blue shirt.
We're all gonna imagine flowers on it. All right.
Cowboy hat. We have you on the screen with a floral shirt and cowboy hat, so we have that on there.
You know the problem with the cowboy hat is I can't fit headsets on over it, so I can't.
Tricky.
Yeah.
Somebody said Island Hanny in the chat. So no, not Island Hanny today. Business Hanny today. All right, so let's move on. So Efton Reed for us, Hanny, I've talked to you before. I'm a huge basketball fan, and grew up Chris Jackson. I remember the '86 Final Four like vividly. I was 8 years old. So, all right, getting Efton Reed to me is like that piece that Will's been missing. That rim protector, guy in the low block, and you can have your power forwards playing power forward instead of playing center. What are you thinking about this right now? And then if Days comes back, what are you thinking about this team right now?
Well, I think it's a team that's got great length. It's got the problem with last year's team was there was no size to it. Now, it wasn't all Wade's fault, okay?
Right.
So when he brought in Penn Johnson, who left in like 15 minutes,
sure,
and he brought in Gray, who he was going to do developmental with, and he brought in Sharif O'Neal, that was going to be his front court. And by the time you got to the beginning of February, they were all gone for various reasons, okay? So it's not like he didn't have a plan and a backup plan and a backup plan. They were all gone. Well, this was the big gap in that team, was size.
Right.
Well, you look at this team, and it's got tremendous size and tremendous length. I'm not sure they've got a point guard that's not looking to score
first.
more than he is to distribute, but they've got tremendous length. Here's the deal with Reed. Reed is so much different from the last rim protector they had, which was Bigby.
Mm-hmm.
He can score. Bigby only got he got turnaround buckets. He got garbage buckets. He got offensive rebounds and all that, which was great because he could also defend. Yeah, the lobs. Reed appears to have, and guys, if I told you I'd seen more than 2 minutes of film on him, I'd be lying.
Same with us, yeah.
But his offensive numbers suggest that he's got some offensive game, and I'll tell you the number I have been told to look at more than anything with young big men is free throw shooting. This guy's a 78% free throw shooter. There is no difference, none, between the free throw line at IMG, LSU, or the Dallas Mavericks.
Or the Butler Convention Center.
Wherever you want to go. It's 15 feet. It's 10 feet. It's unguarded. You can shoot it, okay? So that's why the scouts will tell you that true shooting percentage is better dictated on young players by their free throw percentage rather than their field goal percentage, because the guy, he's 7 foot tall, okay?
Right.
He's going to dunk however many, I don't care if he shoots 78% from the floor. He's dunking over 6'4" guys. Whatever.
What do you think about and this is further down the line, but I'm just thinking about Naz Reid and Cavell together when they were playing. Having a guy like Reed play the 4 and have a guy like Colbert play the 5, and you have a rim protector and you have a guy that can kind of play out a little bit further from the post and maybe score in different ways.
Well, it does allow a guy like Naz Reid to shoot. You guys probably got the shot sheet in front of you. He probably shot 3 or 4 threes a game his last year at LSU, and shot probably 37, 38%. I'm doing this out of my head.
Right.
Well, you can do that if you have some kind of rim protection.
Right.
What if Emmett Williams had been on last year's team? Okay.
Absolutely.
Right.
Emmett Williams learned to shoot the 3. Why? Because he spent the summer in the gym putting up 1,000 shots a day.
Yeah.
Good for him. But Emmett Williams's value to LSU was as not necessarily a rim protector, but as a strong man down low.
Right.
He really busted people down low. Well, okay. What if that guy can also shoot threes? Well, Naz Reid did it. Okay. I'm not saying that Reed is going to be is going to be a 3-point shooter, but he can shoot free throws. And you put him down on the block, and this guy shoots 80% from the free throw line. He was 78 point whatever instead of 71%. Well, that's what, 3 points a game, 4 points a game.
Sure.
How many wins does that translate into? How many games did LSU lose by 4 points last year?
Right.
3, 4. It's the difference between 10-8 and 14-4 in the league. It really is. And so I'm very encouraged about this kid as well.
So another aspect of this, of course, is Darius Days. And what happens with Days here is if he comes back, I've been on the. Who do you get rid of? I would assume it would be a guy like Wiro, possibly on the roster, something like that. Maybe. I mean, you can't get rid of Gaines. You need a point guard of some sort, maybe in the backup. But with Days, I've been on the Darius Days Draymond Green comparison for at least 3 years now, where I feel like Darius Days could be a Draymond Green clone he needs to develop his game, obviously, into something like that. But he's got that same body type. He's got some skill on the outside. He's got to work on his ball handling, obviously. He's got to be a lot more active than he is. But if you look at the stat comparison, it's actually exact with Draymond Green from when he was at Michigan State. What are your thoughts on Draymond? I mean, Draymond. What are your thoughts? Yeah, if we had Draymond Green, that would be great. What are your thoughts on Darius Days coming back and how that could add on, and if he could play that 3?
So Darius Days becomes a huge piece for LSU because they need a senior. They need a leader if they're going to make a run.
Yeah.
And Days is seeing the elephant and watched it die. Well, they need that. Xavier Pinson is a 4th-year player.
Yep.
But he's a first-year player here.
Right.
Days can command the locker room, and I don't have to remind you guys of what the. So get all that. They need a leader. And I think that Darius Days has been a tremendous leader when he's in there. He's done everything right. You know, he busts his butt on both ends. He's a star, but he's a college star. He's not a superstar. He's a very, very good player.
Right.
There was a time when he was a freshman, I thought he was an NBA player for sure. And I'm like, no, probably not. He's going to have to work his way into the league. I would, if I were advising him, 100% tell him to come back to LSU because of the leadership portion for LSU, but also for him.
Yeah,
the kid can shoot. Okay,
right.
If you give him an open shot, he's going to be known in the league as a 3-and-D guy. That's if he makes it in the league, he's gonna be a 3-and-D guy. He can shoot. He's got enough range. Are his feet quick enough to guard the 3? He's got enough length. Can he do that? I think he probably. He lost some weight last year. He probably needs to lose another little bit. I think he can be a player in the NBA. I think he's going to be in the G League first, of course, but I think he can do that. But his presence would be invaluable for LSU. And you said, well, who you let go? Man, look, the transfer portal, I trust that to work itself out, okay?
Yeah.
And I trust Will Wade.
You're going to say.
Yeah, and I trust Will Wade for that. I mean, he constantly keeps saying, like, upgrade the roster is what he says.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I think Ed Ogeron needs to take a seat in his office, to be honest with you. I think he's using the transfer portal exactly the way it needs to be used. And I actually agree with Dick Vitale on something that he tweeted out earlier in his rants. But I think he was talking about there's 1,300 guys in the transfer portal right now, and I think only 500 of those average more than like 3 or 4 points a game.
Wow.
Something crazy to that effect where it's like there's
closer, it's closer to 1,600 as far as players. Listen, none of us like this, okay? This is not what any of us grew up with. You grew up with, you went to college. If things went really, really, really bad after your sophomore year, you transferred, and then you sat out a year, and maybe things worked out for you. But that's not the case anymore. And I don't want to hear about, well, the players are selfish and the players are this and the players are that. The coaches are the same way, man.
Right.
Look, when I started in this business, I had a very good relationship with the recruiting coordinator at LSU. I'm not going to name him, but it was in the 90s. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I go into his office. That was back when you could do such a thing. And we sit down and we talk off the record. And he would have a depth chart up on his board. And we look at it, and he have a recruiting chart up on his board. And I say, well, what about this guy? What about this guy? What about this guy? And at least once a week, he would say, we wish that guy would transfer. Okay.
Yeah.
We would like him to transfer here. And I say, well, why doesn't he? He goes, well, because he's going to get a degree from LSU, or his girlfriend goes to school here, or blah, blah, etc. And I said, well, why don't you just, advise him to go somewhere else? We do. We absolutely do. We advise them, please go somewhere else where you can play, and they won't leave.
Yeah.
That was in 1995. That was in 1993. Okay. Now, so why don't you just run him off? And he goes, if we run him off, can't play, we're going to run you off. And we're going to have it handed to us in recruiting on that every year. That was 25 years ago. Okay. That is not the case anymore.
No.
Now, if you can't play, get out. Okay?
Yeah.
And we're not going to hold it against you, because if you were at a school comparable to our size and you couldn't play, they tell you get out.
I mean,
And
Josh Gray is the biggest example of this, right? Like, is a guy that we love to keep and develop here. He's a 7-footer, athletic, and maybe stay for 3 years and develop into a the name that I kept. I'm a big Josh Gray defender as well. I would defend this on a Facebook group all the time. Gert Hammock was the worst basketball player I'd ever seen as a freshman basketball player. Worst basketball player I've ever seen. And developed into a great college basketball player his senior year. But it took a long time to develop. But that was a guy that I was thinking of. He's got athleticism. He's 7 foot. Like, let's just keep him on the roster for crying out loud. But, yeah, we have no time to do that if you're in the transfer portal.
So Gert's my age, right? Okay, we're the exactly we came in LSU. Gert, Shaq, and I, between the three of us, we've accomplished a hell of a lot.
Oh,
did we lose him?
Did we lose you? We were hanging on by a thread.
Vocabulary.
There you go. There you go. All right, you're back. Go ahead.
So
go ahead.
Develop is a word you can just eliminate from your vocabulary. Nobody develops anymore.
Right.
Well, if you develop, you don't develop for the school that you went to. You develop for somebody else, right? So if Adam Miller, let's just use him as an example. If Adam Miller, who averaged, I think, 8.5 points a game for Illinois,
right?
If he ends up being a 22-point a game scorer, which he's capable of, where did he develop? Well, he developed LSU. Oh, okay. And if you get a guy that goes, so if Andre Hyatt goes to Murray State and he averages 14 points and 8 rebounds a game, where did he develop? The guys just they don't developing for your school anymore really doesn't happen. I mean, it's not that it doesn't happen, but it's rare. Okay, it doesn't happen nearly as much as a guy getting pissed off and going somewhere else where the grass is greener, and then he accomplishes what he might have accomplished at his own school had he stayed there, but he didn't.
Right. I agree, and the development is lost now with the transfer portal. It's a win now thing, and if you can grab guys right now, then it's a completely different deal. Let's switch gears real quick, Charles, and we'll talk about baseball.
Right.
You got Bama coming in. Obviously, it's must win time. You got to get to 13 to 14 wins, obviously, in the SEC to make the tourney. There's obviously, and we've been the ones that Moscona didn't like because we broke the news that Paul Maneri may be retiring at the end of the year. We even heard that it could even be announced a little earlier for Bama week, just to kind of give him the good out,
goodbye,
before the end of the season.
Tour.
Last weekend series for Paul Maneri, possibly. What are your thoughts going into this series and kind of where this team stands? I mean, 4 out of 6 gets them in, you think?
I think you have to get to 14 wins to
I
guarantee
agree.
yourself a spot.
You need a sweep
I
this week or next week.
Well, however you
Sorry?
get to 14, you can do the math any way you
Two and
want.
two.
I think
Yeah.
you got to get to 14. I think you got to get to 14. 13, I don't think gets you in. I know what their RPI is. Maybe I'm scarred from 2011, but I don't think 13 gets you in. I think 14 gets you in, and so you get to that. However you want to, slice the last 6 games.
Right.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not at all biased when it comes to Paul. I mean, I'm not at all unbiased when it comes to Paul Maneri.
Yeah.
I work with the man for 12 years, and I was in his office every day
Fantastic
for
guy.
12 years.
Right.
So I'm not going to even pretend to be unbiased where he's concerned. I think he's a tremendous coach. I, I have a very close personal relationship with him, so I'm not even gonna pretend that, oh wait, I'm gonna be objective about this, because I think he's done a tremendous job here at LSU, and I think that the people that say, "Well, you didn't do this, you didn't do that," they're saying you weren't Skip, okay? And I knew Smoke Laval.
Right.
I worked with Smoke Laval for 5 years. Smoke Laval had the best record in the SEC, the best record in the SEC over 5 years, and got fired because why?
Right.
Well, he was 0-4 in Omaha. Trying to follow Skip Bertman is like trying to follow John Wooden or Mike Krzyzewski or
Absolutely.
whatever.
Right.
Okay, so it's a thankless job. And Maneri's won a national championship. Okay, he's won a great deal, but he's lost in the postseason sometime. Well, okay. I think Coach is in a tremendous amount of physical pain. I saw it last night. And I listen. I don't deal with him on a daily basis anymore. I don't
Sure.
work at the university anymore. I see him with uh, a tremendous amount of physical pain, and I know he's got a tremendous amount of emotional pain too, because losing his father, I knew Doc
Yep.
Maneri very well.
Right.
Okay, I can't tell you how many times I talked to Doc waiting for Paul to come into his office to do a pregame interview. I spent hours with him. He's a tremendous baseball man. Losing his father was a huge deal for Paul, as it would be
Right.
for anybody. And Tommy Lasorda was a huge influence.
Another
on
one.
him.
Right.
A huge. It's his godfather to his son Tommy, who I know, and I've met Lasorda a number of times before he passed. Listen, the bird ball, I think, has increased in the last 30 months more, but I still think he's a tremendous baseball coach. I do.
Yeah.
There's nobody coaching college baseball right now that has won more games than Paul Maneri.
Right.
But do I think that the external factors have taken a toll on him? I do. Do I think Coach is in pain? I do. And I haven't asked him about it, but I watched the game last night. He's got. He told me 2 years ago he had some neck pain and some disc problems. I don't know the medical terms, but
Yeah.
it caused him great pain. And one of
You can
his
see him.
former
You can see him in the dugout. Right.
one of his former players at Notre Dame, whose name I can't remember, performed a surgery on him to alleviate the pain, and it worked to a certain extent, but it didn't work apparently enough to where I saw Coach last night having some involuntary kind of spasms, if you will.
Yeah.
Right.
And I know he is in a tremendous amount of physical pain. I know this.
Right.
I mean, I can say. So, listen. However this season ends, it ends. It's not going to end well. They're not going to College World Series. They're not going to Super Regional. They're going to be lucky if they make it to a regional. Okay, there's too many holes in this roster, and I think I think Coach is in a lot of pain. I really do. And however he decides to handle it, however Scott Woodward decides to handle it, Coach, in my opinion, Coach Maneri has earned the right to make his own call. and I believe that Scott Woodward will honor that. I believe that he respects Coach Maneri enough that Coach will make his own call, and that'll happen at the end of the season.
Yeah, and you know, we've heard names obviously, and things are coming around, and you know, apparently Alex Box Stadium was like a buzz about possible names last weekend. A couple of names that we've heard: Kevin O'Sullivan at Florida. There's obviously Cliff Godwin, who coached here before.
O'Donnell.
Well, Dan McDonald a little bit. I feel like there's fans that want things, and then there's actual names.
Sure.
What were your thoughts would be if Kevin O'Sullivan came here next year?
You know, I hate to talk about replacements before anything happens. Listen,
that's all we do. Hanny.
I know. I know.
That's our thing.
That's why I almost pushed you guys off for a few weeks.
Yeah, right.
No. Listen, Sully's great. Okay, I had a chance to interact with Kevin O'Sullivan at multiple College World Series. Okay, he's great. I mean, he's a great college baseball coach. His record. I mean, you guys can look it up, as I know you have. Look, Sully's great. And if Scott Woodward wasn't the athletic director here, I'd be like, dude,
there's no way.
God. Yeah, you got
exactly.
But he just pulled Kim Mulkey from Baylor, so I'm going to shut up now.
Jesus.
Sully's great. Sully's great. Cliff Godwin, if Cliff Godwin were the next coach at LSU, I'd only go to the press conference to ask him to document the night we got stranded in Cincinnati together, because
he's got a story.
Yeah. Oh God, is there me, him, Bill Franquez, who's the voice of Alec Box, and Kevin Wagner, head of LSU TV.
Yep.
Were the only four guys who missed the flight. Not on purpose, but we were the only four guys that were on the flight from a flight out of Columbia, South Carolina, to Baton Rouge, and we ended up getting sent through Cincinnati, and the flight in Cincinnati got canceled, and so the four of us spent the night in the Cincinnati airport, which is a whole different story, which I don't want to tell right now. But anyway, so I would ask. So Godwin may or may not remember that story, but
we'll ask him when we bring him on.
The four. Ask him if he remembers the night he got stranded in Cincinnati with the broadcast crew.
Yes, he'll love that.
Because he wasn't on the charter, because he had a recruiting trip to go to. And the whole damn bunch of us got stuck in Cincinnati. Do you know where the Cincinnati airport is? By the way?
No.
It's in Kentucky. Okay. It's in Kentucky. True story. Okay, so if you ever get stuck in the Cincinnati airport and they have to give you like gratis a hotel room, you're gonna sleep. You're gonna spend the night in Kentucky, which is what we did for all of 5 hours. Anyway,
okay. Well, real quick,
Sully's great. Okay, but it's pie in the sky except for Woodward. So
yeah, I agree completely. All right, we got a question in the chat. When's Charlie gonna come and drink bourbon with us?
Right.
Big question.
When he's invited.
Perfect. I'll invite you. You're done. It's done. You're on the list.
You had a couple bottles.
Me, you, Durante Jones. We got it.
You had a couple bottles that Mr. Buddy's waiting for you for a couple weeks. I almost stole them.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, I picked those up, and I'm anxious to meet. I haven't met Durante Jones yet, but
well, there you go. I got a cell phone right now, Charlie.
You guys set that up. We'll have a session. That'll be good.
I feel like I'm in the know here. I've got the connections that you need. All right. So last question. We have Brad Johnson waiting on the line. Who starts next year? Max or Miles? Real quick. One word answer.
Was he listening?
He is right there listening to he just smirked.
I gave my answer earlier.
You did give your answer earlier. You don't need to say it again. You don't have to say it again.
He didn't hear it.
He didn't hear it.
Listen, I think Max is the better quarterback, and I think Miles starts. I mean, that's what else do you want from me?
Just hanging it out there, huh? I like your style, Handy.
I'm going to give you the truth that I believe because I forget. If I lie, I forget. Okay, so I'll just tell you what I think, and I think the world of Brad Johnson. I think the world of Max Johnson. I think the world of Miles Brennan. But you're asking me, who do I think is going to start? I think Miles Brennan's going to start. Who do I think is a better quarterback? I think Max Johnson's a better quarterback.
Yeah.
Yep. Right.
Because of his ability to move. So anyway. I've gotten myself in enough trouble. Thanks, guys.
Yes, yeah. Hey, no, we need to bring you back before the Skip documentary. I want a whole episode basically around 90s LSU baseball. I got Rick Green. He's going to come on. We can get Ronnie, obviously, and a couple other guys and see if we can have a big thing about it, okay?
I have a PhD in 1990s LSU baseball. So whenever you guys are ready.
Put our brains together. Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Thanks, Annie.
Thank you, Mr.
Appreciate
Charlie.
it, bud. All right. With that, we will bring on none other than
Super Bowl winning.
Super Bowl champion. That's Brad Johnson.
Here we go.
This is Max's dad. Did I just overstepped your bounds here.
Hey,
Brad Johnson, how are you doing today, buddy?
All right, guys. How y'all doing? Appreciate you having me on the show.
Sorry for the delay on that.
So who was that setting up for you? Was that Jake or was that
Jake?
Max?
Yeah.
Anybody but me. Yeah, that was technology is not one of my strengths, you know.
We're used to that.
I saw someone in there with you. Which son was it?
Yeah, that was Jake. Jake's how to use his Chromebook or something like that. So
well,
I don't think our computers are compatible to whatever we're on right now. So we're here though.
When I see you on TikTok, I'm thinking the whole time, somebody set this up for you. There's no way. There's no way. I do TikTok too, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, man. It's hard being the camera guy, and then being the guy actually doing it. And then I actually went to Best Buy and got me one of those 3-prong deals going. You know what I mean? So
man, so
you've been interesting. We did one the other day, and there were some kids sitting in the stands at the high school. They've been in PE class, and they go, holy cow, here goes that doink video getting ready to happen. So they got to see it on first take, first try. You know what I mean? So,
well, we saw the one that just happened yesterday. So last night, right? Was it last night?
Yeah, I did. I've done the last couple of days, and that was last night. They were getting ready to play basketball up and down the court a little bit, and then had about 10 kids over. They were kind of watching. They all kind of celebrated as it kind of happened, laughed, and all that kind of stuff. The old man had to get out of there, pick up basketball game. You know,
is this bringing you back to your days of like, okay, I'm in front of a crowd, I need to perform, one of those kind of deals?
Here's the interesting thing when I do it is I never do just a trick shot and then splice the film together. That's the difference. Yes. Mine are all like 3, 4, 5, 6 shots in a row kind of thing, usually, especially with the basketball, and then maybe a football toss at the end. So there's a little pressure that goes with it. I ain't gonna lie. So if you really start watching the football throw, I kind of like I'll lick my finger or try to come on the center again. There's a little bit of pressure to kind of get that thing done, and then when it's accomplished, I do feel very rewarding. And I left the gym the other day. I ran to Zaxby's, had a big sweet tea, and celebrated, and was cramping up all night after I got it done. So it's a little more work than people think, and so I'm interested to see if anybody else can do it. You know what I mean?
So it's funny that you say that because there's a lot of gamers out there. There's especially these NFL X's. Justin Vincent is one of them. Justin Vincent played at LSU, running back, and went to Pittsburgh Steelers. And we met Justin Vincent out at a restaurant here recently, and he bet us. It was 2 of us. He bet us $1,000 that he could beat us in golf if we play like a scramble versus him. And I'm like, "There's no way. There's no way you're gonna beat." He had this look in his eye,
right?
And that night, and he was just looking at me, going, "You put the money up, and I'm on it." And it was like enough of a look that I was like, "Okay, I have to to second guess myself a little bit because this guy apparently is a gamer, and if money is on the line, he's doing it.
Right,
so
we saw the 03 championship, man.
yes, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm thinking the same thing whenever you're doing these TikTok videos. You're like, no, I'm on camera right now. Can't get into another gear, right?
Competitive juices, they come out, but you try to do something no one else can probably do. If they can, there's only one or two people maybe in the world that can do some of those. Some are easy, but some are pretty difficult. So who knows? It's something that, for me, it's fun. It's exercise, and kind of some people kind of get to see what I kind of can do on the side, kind of fooling around. So it's all my life, all I did was drills and drills and drills. And if you were taking a half-court shot or a hook shot, I was going to beat your brains in because you're practicing the wrong thing. So now I'm at the point, I'm 52, I can do whatever I want to do and have fun with it and kind of let everybody kind of enjoy the little bit of the show also.
Okay, so one of our interns, he's not on here. He was gonna join us, but he couldn't join us tonight. He's from Tampa Bay, or Tampa, I should say, and he has a picture from when he was a kid that we wanted to show you, and you can see it right here. He had this Brad Johnson jersey on, big time in it. That's our guy Devin over here. Yeah. So he wanted us to ask you a few questions about your Tampa days, but first of all, like Warren Sapp. Did you have some experiences with Warren Sapp, maybe in practice that we can kind of talk about? Derek Brooks, possibly, because you were with Florida State. Were you with Derek Brooks back then, or who were your guys at Florida State back then?
Yeah, everybody that played at Florida State. Derek Brooks, I mean, he was All-American, high school, college, Hall of Famer. I mean, I remember when I was first at Florida State and first days of working out, and they kind of made every position go with the defensive. So I was a quarterback, so I went with the secondary. The coaches want to see, how you could just how coachable you were and do their drills, and you never see them again. And first day I was with the two guys beside me was Deion Sanders on the left and Leroy Butler on my right.
I didn't know if Deion was there yet.
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah.
He was there. And let me just tell you, Deion was the best. I mean,
you didn't have to.
Yeah. The secondary when we first got there, it was Leroy Butler, it was Deion Sanders, it was Martin Mayhew, who's now like a GM, played 14 years, won a Super Bowl, and Dedrick Dodge, played for the 49ers for
Terrell Buckley was later, right?
Terrell Buckley came after that.
That's right.
I played with him also. So, I mean, you're just talking about loads and loads of talent. And so that's why I think when I went there in 87, that was the beginning of the 14-year run with Florida State finished in the top 4, and practices were much more competitive than games a lot of times. And you kind of see Clemson making that same kind of run right now.
Yes.
As far as the program, similar kind of program, similar kind of athletes, and producing, putting guys in the NFL and trying to win national championships every year. So I was blessed, I'll be honest with you, to play at Florida State. Then my brother-in-law is Mark Rick, who's my QB coach there.
Wow. Right.
And then being at Georgia and Miami as a head coach. But in our QB room, I don't think people understand it. There was one time there was a guy named Peter Tom Willis who played 4 years in NFL, and Casey Weldon was the runner-up to the Heisman, and Charlie Ward won the Heisman.
Right.
National championship, and Chris Winkie, he won a national championship and Heisman, and Kenny Felder was he's a late first round baseball pick. So we all thought each other stunk in the QB room, but there was a lot of talent. You didn't realize it till after we all had our college careers and kind of won accomplished.
Did you ever try to play Charlie Ward one-on-one in basketball?
Charlie and I actually played on the same City League basketball team at Florida State. There's a place called Dade Street. I think we went 72-0 was our team, and it was unbelievable. Our team the name was Hurricane Saloon. There's a little bar right downtown off Hayden Street, and that was Hurricane Saloon was our team. And there's Charlie Ward, a guy named Barry Taylor, played at North Carolina, David Schaffer, who was at Clemson and Florida State, Ron Miller, Byron Leftwich. I mean, I think we could beat Florida State. I'll be honest with you. So Charlie Ward, he came there. He was actually a punter when he first came to Florida State. He was backing up. He was like third or fourth string, and then he was a punter his very first year. Then he redshirted after that. And so I remember I'd already finished up. I played 2 years of basketball at Florida State, and then I was done. And this Charlie was a Sunday afternoon. We went to see Florida State. We went and saw him practice, and then we're driving back. And he's like, I think I can play at that level. I said, you ought to. You ought to go. You ought to go do it. And then he ended up having his career at Florida State, and I think they reached the Final Eight in basketball. Then he had an 11-year career in the NBA, and so it's truly amazing. Some of the guys we play with,
Absolutely. Now, that's just on Florida State side. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Haven't
think
even
of
mentioned the freaking NFL yet.
or playing against the U, right? Like I'm sure you've had some stories about playing against Miami from Florida State, right?
That would have been Jimmy Johnson, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Schnellenberger before Johnson. I think is where you were, right?
yeah, I had for them it was Jimmy Johnson and I think it's Coach Erickson, Dennis Erickson.
Yeah.
And,
So 87, 88 was Johnson.
Right.
Well, another thing, did you ever get to play against LSU?
We actually played against them 3 times.
That's
Three
right.
times. We did not. I was not really ever starting. I was backing up.
Okay.
We played them once in Tallahassee. I don't know if you remember. It was really there was a fight at the end of the game.
Yeah.
It was kind of
Yes, I remember.
I know you do remember.
Yeah, that was, I think it was Coach Bobby Bowden's 200th win, and he went on to win 377 games. And then we played.
Where were you in the fight? First of all, let's talk about that. Did
I
you take your helmet off and
Who'd you
swing
go
it or anything like
one-on-one
that?
with?
Yeah,
It was after the game. We'd already won, so I was out, man. It was mayhem. it was nuts. It was nuts. But yeah, we won all 3 times we played. Then we came over to LSU, played twice, played one time. We were ranked number 1 in the country, and it was a great game in the rain. And that game kind of killed us, honestly. We had 5 guys out for the season after that game with either ACLs or broken foots or something, whatever it was.
Yeah,
so,
right.
And then that was the end up the time we had the wide right. Kind of that was the beginning of it. So, but it was some great battles. Had a lot of respect for it, and it was awesome, playing Tiger Stadium.
So what were your thoughts on Tiger Stadium, and then what kind of led that to Max and his decision to go there? Did you talk to him about that at all, and like the atmosphere? Look, literally, my parents went to that game, and I remember watching that game on TV when Florida State came, and it was a big deal for us at the time because LSU had been going through some problems, and like we were feeling like we were still under Curly Hallman, obviously, but we were trying to get over the hump a little bit, and Florida State coming in was a big deal. And we played a really good game, I felt. My mom came home. I never forget it. She said, "Oh my God, if they have to play that fight song one more time."
Right.
Florida State, because apparently the Florida State band came. So what were your thoughts on that? Maybe did you give anything to Max about that going in from your perspective?
I just remember it was a great competitive all 3 games. I remember coming to the stadium. It was, I think Doak Campbell, where we were at, it was, seats at that time 65,000. Now they've domed it in. It looks pretty nice, and it's great stadium now. But I remember LSU is just a humongous stadium. The SEC schools. I mean, obviously now you got 4 or 5 schools that are over 100,000 as far as what the capacity. You know what I mean? I just remember being an electric atmosphere, and kind of one of those down. I knew LSU was down at that time, so it was a good victory for Florida State. You know what I mean? But I remember being a massive place and great fan support.
What was the first game that you and Max maybe attended whenever he came?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think the first game we saw I think it was Texas A&M. Then we saw Rice. I think the next year I brought Max to a couple camps.
That was
that
game.
And so we've been to the camps, which was probably more important than actually just coming to the game.
Right.
They've been to a bunch of games. Obviously, we live here in Athens and been to a bunch of SEC games in Georgia and all that kind of stuff. So that wasn't as big as deal. It was just really going to the camps and trying to get to know the coaches and that kind of thing. But I remember it just being awesome, seeing the Tiger Walk and then, the crowd and just all of it, And so it's a pretty cool experience. But I don't think we were caught up into the hype as much as looking for the best fit for Max. And
and relationships and things like that, right?
Yeah, no doubt. And the hardest thing about it, I think for Max, he's been recruited, 9th grade.
Yes.
those kind of things. And you go back and you look at those top 10 schools that we were talking to, I think 7 or 8 of them, the coaches had either retired or fired or were gone. You know what I mean? So it's a really interesting process for how kids try to figure out what school they're going to go to. And you do want to build those relationships, but, people, they kind of come and go in the coaching world sometimes. So you got to be where you want to be at the end of the day, and hopefully it's the right fit for everyone.
So has Max and Jake ever gotten in a fight?
Yeah. It's kind of like they're best friends, but it's also kind of like they're Tom and Jerry kind of in the house fighting with each other, and like the cartoon. So it's when they were younger, I could put them in timeout, but now I'm at the point I can't handle it. The only thing I can do is take away their phone. That's about all.
You don't get in the middle of it though. You don't like push them away.
I used to. I can't. I don't fool with that one right now. It gets a little too hot and a little too competitive sometimes.
Usually, like playing basketball and things like that.
I don't let them ever play one-on-one basketball. It turns into a fight. The game is ugly. It just turns into a fight, and so I mean, it's competitive from whoever's best, whoever's tallest, to whoever can bench more, and whoever can squat more, to whoever can. It comes into that whole kind of thing every day. So they're obviously great friends, best friends, and looking forward to them to playing with each other on the next level in Baton Rouge and all that kind of stuff. But it's I think the only time they ever really shut up with each other is when they actually throw to each other. They actually just do the work, and it doesn't become a competitive thing. It becomes more of a how can we get better thing.
Well, who's the better basketball player, Max or Jake? And Jake's living with you right now, so you have to say it right now.
Max is here too, so I don't know.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't know, man. They
are they in the room right now?
They're close by, so I don't know if they can hear me through the walls or not. I'm going to plead the fifth on that one. We'll see.
All right, okay. So we've had everybody on today, and we've asked them who's going to start. Is it going to be Miles or Max? And there's different reasons for different things. And so what's Max's thought process going into this? Is he thinking he's going to be the starter? Is he kind of going into it just kind of like, I'm going to do the best I can and figure out, if I'm not going to be the starter, maybe I'm going to play the rest of the season as a starter. Is there anything that he's kind of thinking about right now that we can kind of like put our finger on, if that makes sense?
Yeah. I mean, he didn't go to LSU to join a fitness club.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he ain't there for his health, but he loves being a part of that team. He loves the coaches. He's built up a great relationship with the new coaches, with Jake Peets and DJ Mangus. And obviously he wanted to be part of something special. And, a chance to compete for a national championship and, all those teams in the SEC. You know what I mean? It's the toughest football you got. So, but he loves football. He loves working at it, watching film, workouts here like no other.
Yeah.
And, so it's a little bit different here. We're getting ready to go on vacation to the beach. His friends won't come because they know we're going to run in the mornings. You know what I mean? They don't do that. So, they ain't coming. This
isn't a vacation.
I ain't coming either, Coach. I ain't coming either, Coach.
So, but I think it's just a great fit. Max loves it there. He got to run with all the ones the whole spring. Had a great spring game, spring practices, and
he did.
Had a couple touchdowns in the spring game. Had one call back. I mean, I think you got some really good quarterbacks there, obviously in Baton Rouge, and they'll make the decision on what they feel like is best. But he loves to compete, loves to get better. He does a good job as far as being accurate and decisive with the ball, and those kind of things. So whatever happens, it'll happen. But you want it to be the right thing for the school, number one, and then when the players are ready, and then let it play out on the field. And that's hopefully what they did in the spring. And let them compete. Let them compete in the meeting room. Let them compete in the condition test and weight room and film room and game and all those kind of things. But whatever's best for LSU, then that's what you want. That's what the coaches are there for. So we'll see what happens.
All right, you mentioned Jake Peets in there. What are your initial thoughts of him?
Yeah, my younger son Jake. That was a big deal for him coming to Baton Rouge. He had some other choices. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. Be honest with you, I wasn't sure if he's coming or not. And but that was a big deal for. I think my Jake made good relationship, obviously with Tyler Orgeron and Derek Shea, and has been on campus a bunch, just with in the camps in the past, being with coming to games and those kind of things. But I think just he felt comfortable. Obviously, being on campus, and then felt like the system would be a good fit for my Jake, and so he feels very comfortable with it, and built up a great relationship with Coach Pete. He's he's highly organized. He's been around a bunch of ball, and I think he does a great deal. I think he's really good at building up relationships and trust and friendships with people. But obviously, ball is ball at the end of the day, and I think they're trying to build a family atmosphere and be able to communicate, whether it's talking to the recruits or recruiting like the players coming back like they did this past year. A lot of those linemen that are coming back that was a big deal too. So not just the incoming guys, but the guys that they had come back, especially in line play. That was a big deal. So excited for him and excited for for the team next year.
Right, how well do you think Jake Peets fits with Max?
Yeah, I think Coach Peets, he's been around he's been around some great coaches, been around different teams. And Max feels very, very comfortable with him. I think all the quarterbacks do. I think that's what Coach Peets' greatness is. He does build up the relationship and the trust and whatever plays work best for those guys and seeing their skill sets. They all have different skill sets. And whatever, and not just the quarterbacks, but him find out the best what's, for the receivers and and then be able to attack different defenses and different teams. And so it'll be fun to watch them all grow.
Yeah, so one of the things that you've been saying more than anything is relationships, and that's one of the reasons why I'm a big Max Johnson guy. I felt like at the middle of that season last year, he kind of jumped in, and he was the guy that kind of rallied everybody together. That Florida game was just indicative of that, where it was about relationships, and he gathered everybody together. I think him and Keyshawn Butte, Jerry Jenkins, they have this connection that I wasn't seeing beforehand. And not to say that anybody else can't do that, but that's why I've been a big time Max Johnson guy, and I'm hoping to see more of that this year. And I can tell from you already that relationships is the big thing. I'm in sales. Relationships is a big deal. So if you don't have guys on your side, then it doesn't really matter how good you are. You need to have guys on your side. So I'm a Max guy. So Mad Max is we even put T-shirts out there. I don't know if LSU will take them down, but Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. We're even thinking about that. So Brad, anything else you got coming up, or any other TikTok videos we need to be looking out for?
Keep your head on swivel with all those TikTok videos. I think my wife and I got a dance one coming up pretty soon. And my knees don't move. I don't move quite like I did the sock hop days. You know what I mean? So,
you play any golf?
Yeah, I do play golf. Yeah.
Any golf trick shots coming up?
You haven't checked all the videos, have you?
Yeah, apparently there's some.
I actually don't have TikTok, so
yeah.
There's a couple interesting ones with Michael Jackson, so on some putts. But I actually got to play golf with a guy named Chris Mullen about a week ago.
Hey, MBD, just Chris Mullen, no big deal, right? Yeah,
he's a hero of mine. So I've made all kinds of TikTok kind of stuff. It's none of them will disappoint. Have fun doing it. They're all made for fun.
I guess I gotta get TikTok now. Actually,
well, we have a TikTok. Just for One Team One podcast has a TikTok. If you ever join
I gotta download the app.
Brad, whenever you're in town again, we'll play golf with you for sure, and we'll put you up for sure. Any Jake boys, any Johnson boys want to join us, they can do that as well.
Definitely, we would love that.
They're not golfers.
We'll get them there. Yeah, they have to. It's an addiction that they have to learn eventually, right? Mm-hmm.
They might be late bloomers on that one. So.
Yeah, exactly. We appreciate it, Brad. We appreciate your time. We'll get you back on again for sure. Okay.
All good, man. Appreciate it, guys. Thank y'all.
All right, bud.
Thank you a bunch.
Brad Johnson, Super Bowl winning quarterback. Brad Johnson.
Yeah.
We appreciate him coming on. All right.
You want to cut to some commercials? I got to take a piss.
Wow. Yikes. Wow. That was hot.
Take
All
a
right.
piss. That's bad.
Quarterbacks commercials right now. Let's go.
Quarterbacks.
Ether Insurance is dedicated to helping the businesses and people of Baton Rouge secure affordable insurance tailored to their needs. With our curated network of insurance carriers, we provide the best solutions for home, auto, life, and business coverage. Ether Insurance, powering and protecting your world.
2020 took a toll on all of us. If you're going through a divorce or custody issue, let Dejan Law Office be by your side in 2021.
Dejan Law Office, fighting for what you deserve. 344-ANDY.
Brandon Lejean here, courtesy Buick GMC.
Call Brandon Lejean at 337-224-1867.
Come see us today, courtesy Buick GMC.
Hey, quick shout out to Bank of England Mortgage. Patrick Michelson at Bank of England Mortgage. You can see all of his information on the screen right here. Reach out to these guys about refis, regular mortgages. They're a huge sponsor of One Team One Podcast. We appreciate those guys. Also, Bogies, Clayton, my guy at Bogies over here. Big shout out to those guys. Go see Bogies. They're a staple of mine. When I think of Tigerland, I think of Bogies. Reach out to Bogies. Go out there, have some fun, spend some money on some drinks. That's what I want at Bogies. Also, River City's Total Maintenance. We've talked to Lucas earlier tonight. Reach out to them. So New Orleans area and North Shore, so all around the lake, they can help you with AC, electrical, anything that you need done. They can get you to the right place. Relief Pools and Spas. So Relief. Ben Landry at Relief Pools is your guy. So I had a pool and a spa in my last house, and I wish I had Relief on our last job. Call Ben Landry at Relief Pools. They would help you out, especially for the summertime season. We have Courtesy Buick GMC, Courtesy Automotive Group, Brandon Lejean. Give him a call. Any kind of deal that you need to get done with a deal right now for a GMC or a Buick. They also have used car deals. Follow Brandon on Facebook. He's got deals all the time. We also have Bear Process Safety, Adam Berry at Bear Process Safety. Anybody that's in the plant or industrial area, they need to give Bear Process Safety a call.
And let me say our weekly, Adam, we need to play golf.
Adam Berry, we need to play golf. Adam Memorado at Ether Insurance. Give Adam a call. They can give you a quote online at etherins.com. All right, so we just had Brad Johnson on. We also had Charles Hanagriff on.
That's right.
We need to kind of talk about some of the things that we had discussed with those guys.
Our more unfiltered opinions.
Yes.
So you're saying.
Yeah, like let's talk about those and
All right, so what were you
rip
holding?
them up.
What were you holding in?
I was holding in talking to Brad Johnson about Miles and Max, who starts, who transfers.
Sure.
I didn't want to ask him about that, obviously, and I wanted to kind of be a little bit more subtle.
Actually,
I should have said something.
Wesley in the chat said that we asked a tough ass question, but he had a hell of a response.
Oh. What was the question?
Talking about how when apparently we asked who he thinks should start.
Okay.
I don't remember asking that. Did we ask that?
Who we think should start?
I don't think we did.
No.
I don't think we asked that.
No.
We didn't ask that explicitly, at least.
No.
But we dove into that topic.
Mm-hmm.
I think I do think he gave it a really good answer. Basically saying that, Max isn't coming to. I love that what he said about Max isn't coming for his health.
Right. Right. He's not coming there just to sit on the bench.
No, exactly. This is Planet Fitness, right?
So yeah, I think the question is exactly what Charles Hanagriff had said, and that's kind of what we were talking about too.
Exactly what we said last week.
I think Miles has to start the first game at least, or at least be in the mix to where he doesn't transfer out immediately and you're down with 2 quarterbacks. I think that's the issue here with the quarterback roster. But at the same time, I think Max is the guy. I think Max is the guy, and even now.
So yeah, I think we all actually agree that Max is probably the better quarterback.
Yeah.
Which I think is actually very interesting. But we all also think that Miles Brennan's going to start. How weird is that?
But it's because he's going to transfer. It's
Right.
it's more of a roster
It's about
deal.
the roster management.
Right.
And how interesting is that we all think that Coach O is just going to lean towards roster management now after entire year of bashing him
roster
on
management.
roster management.
Right, exactly.
And now we just think that all of his decisions are going to be roster management based.
I don't know.
I think it says a lot about what we think about Coach O and how we think that Coach O is just such a like whatever mistakes he makes, he's going to like complete 180 from that.
Right.
So I think this year, it's going to be a complete 180 from 2020 in terms of the decisions he makes. Maybe not.
I do. I honestly think that Coach O has realized his mistakes from 2020. I really do.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that he is not a dumb person.
Just based
and he
on the
understands that he's put himself in a terrible position to where this year he's got to regroup. All right, so moving on with that. Hanagriff was very complimentary of Paul Mainieri.
Yeah,
obviously he wants.
he said he's not.
That's his guy.
He's not unbiased.
That's his guy.
I mean,
and I
don't know Paul Mainieri personally.
We didn't ask Hanagriff about Moscona. Should have.
Oh, we should have.
God damn it! I missed it. Missed my opportunity.
Well, he said he wants to come on and talk with Durante in a couple weeks. So
we'll
get some drinks in him and then ask what he thinks about Moscona.
So we didn't talk to him about that. But yeah, he's obviously very biased about Mainieri. But I think that he understands what's going on with Mainieri, and that we probably see a new coach next year.
Yeah.
And from all accounts, he didn't say anything really about Cliff Godwin, but I think Kevin O'Sullivan is our guy that we need to watch out for.
Yeah. Okay. So I saw you saying on Twitter that you think that's a home run hire. Could you?
Yes.
Yeah, just say everything. You think
so all right, he's been to 7 out of the last 11 College World Series.
That's really good.
Yes, he is an excellent.
How many
recruiter.
have we been to? Do you know?
I don't know the
of the last 11.
Of the last 11, I don't remember off the top of my head. He's an excellent
like 5
recruiter.
Maybe.
He's had a couple of down years. Not last year, but the year before, 2019. I think they were like 34, 26, something like that.
Right.
It wasn't a great year.
Last year, before the season got canceled, weren't they number 1 in the country?
Yes, they were like 26-1 or something like
people
that.
Are quick to forget that, and then this year they're having a down year. And they're still top 10.
It's down year, and they
and they still might
losses.
host a super regional.
They have 14 losses on this season.
All right.
So down year, but they have 14 losses. At this point,
the one thing I think about with Florida baseball is always just like super elite pitching.
Yes. And guys that are on campus that shouldn't be on campus. They've had a few years where they've
stealing
had
guys from the draft is what you're saying.
Yes, they've had guys that come on that are like first round picks. I remember one that I think that was late first round pick, and he came on campus, which is crazy to me. So they've had that before. They've had hitting before. I think the thing that they're missing at Florida as a program is attendance. They don't have the juice that LSU does as far as like everybody's wanting them to succeed. Nobody really cares about baseball at Florida. It's a football, basketball school.
Sure.
So I think that's his problem. I think it's kind of like a Kim Mulkey deal where he's not feeling the
just wants to
love.
go somewhere where he's going to get some more recognition.
Yes, it's going to be like, build a statue for you instead of just your good coach.
Somewhere where it's like, LSU baseball is like, I mean, it's
the ultimate.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't
It's
make
the
a regional,
pinnacle
but the
of-
difference is you don't make a regional here. It's you're on the hot seat, brother.
Right. It's like the Duke basketball of college baseball.
Yes.
And
yes,
even though we've been down for a couple of years, just mainly just because of that success from Skip Bertman.
Right.
Right.
So Kevin O'Sullivan, I think, would be a great hire. I think he would do well with our resources. Not that he hasn't at Florida already, but I think that's
Serious
a big
question
deal.
in the chat here.
What is happening with the swimming team? I mean, seriously, he knows. Blake knows. He's just messing with me.
Talking about the facilities.
The swimming team is terrible. By the way, it's the worst team that we have on the campus is our swimming team. So Andy Dejan, and that's the reason why.
Intern Jude says, "Guys go to Florida to go pro. Dylan Cruz should be on a farm league, but chose to go here because it was his dream."
So yes, but Florida also gets guys like Dylan Cruz almost every year.
Right. We got Dylan Cruz because
Vanderbilt
of
does as well. And one of the reasons why Vanderbilt is so good at baseball is because of their scholarships. Right. They can give these scholarship limits. Florida can't do that, but they still get guys like Dylan Cruz quite a bit.
Is Kim Mulkey really coming?
Yeah, Kim Mulkey is coming. Guaranteed. That's 100%. I don't know.
Has she signed the dotted line yet? Sources? Where are the sources on that?
She signed the dotted line.
Well,
LSU's
Blake says he's got a Baylor source who is really sure she's
That's
not.
probably the blonde bombers at Baylor that has probably said that.
By the way, I never talked to you about that. You did a great job on that.
Good. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay. He uses Restream too, by the way.
Oh, yeah. He's
got like the full Restream.
Oh, this guy's
I was
all
watching that and I was like,
hey,
man.
look, I went on that show and it was like 3 screens going on at the same time with different camera angles. And I was like, oh, this
Holy
is a legit
crap.
show.
Right. Yeah.
I'm in my bedroom right now. That is a legit show. Yeah, it was a good deal. All right, let's switch gears a little bit.
Okay.
Let's talk about football. Could be another announcement coming here soon.
Oh, yeah.
We have a uncommitted safety transfer that could be coming.
Yeah, guys. So this isn't.
He's from Baton Rouge.
He's from Baton Rouge. I'm not going to post this anywhere. We're not going to post this anywhere. But
it's just for you guys listening.
The 6 of you that are watching right now,
and there'll be others.
I mean, we have a good bit that listen just
afterwards
on the podcast, don't watch live.
Right.
So this is just for y'all. I played basketball. I played pickup the other day, and I was playing with this one guy who's real big, and he pointed at me and he said, "I got you this whole game." And I was like, "Man, you look really familiar. What is your name?" And he goes, "I'm Jaquelin Roy." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, no shit. That's why I should know your name. You're a 5-star defensive tackle who should be starting for LSU right now."
Right.
And so he was with a friend, and Jaquelin Roy, he's a really nice dude. He talked a lot of shit. And then he was with a friend who introduced himself to me, and he was like, "Yeah, I went to Madison Prep." And then I saw that he had Georgia shorts on, and I was like, "Well, there's no way that this super jacked Madison Prep alumnus, Georgia short wearing dude is not Major Burns." So I said, "Are you Major Burns?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Are you coming to LSU?" And he said, "Yes." So there you go. Major Burns is probably coming.
So you
to
texted
LSU.
him later.
Texted him later. He said, "I'm not 100% sure on it, but
he's in
sure.
Baton Rouge. He's playing at the Rec, right?
Not the Rec. It was just a random basketball court. It was over on. It was off the Bluebonnet Extension. It was a really random.
Really?
Court. I had never played there before. You needed like a gate code to get in and stuff.
Bluebonnet
It was like
Extension.
Literally, you could drive by it. I wouldn't know it was there.
Wow. All right, so he's out there playing with Jaquelin Roy, playing basketball. He says yes, he's coming. Then
They're
he's
not
like,
good.
I don't know.
I'm gonna also leak this. Neither of them are very good at basketball.
What was the score?
They lost. They played in 2 games. So
it was 2-on-2.
There were a lot. No, it was we were playing 5s, and there were a lot of people there. So like I was there for an hour and a half, and I played 1 game the entire time.
Wow.
It was like you just had to wait that long.
Where the fuck was this?
Yeah, I don't know where all these people. They were just coming.
My
from
neighborhood,
out the yeah,
my
it
old
was
neighborhood,
real close to where you used to live. Maybe a block or two down from you. Actually. Wow. And yeah, people were just coming out the woodworks to play, and it was just like it was their. There's only 10 people on the court at a time. There was this one team that just kept winning games, so like no one could really get on. And yeah, it just took a long time.
How bad was Jaquelin Roy?
So Jaquelin Roy wasn't really trying that hard. I'll be honest. But he didn't look very good. Like when he shot, it was like a line drive at the.
Okay, we'll get him on the podcast.
Yeah, no, I told him we'll have to get him on.
Okay,
I got both their numbers. They'll be coming on sometime this summer, I'm sure.
So you think Major Burns is a guy that's coming on?
Yeah,
I agree with you.
I think it's. I mean, like, okay, he told me he's probably coming to LSU. He told me, Jaquelin Roy told me he's probably coming to LSU. I mean, Jaquelin Roy told me that because, I'm sure Jaquelin
He's
Roy
boys. He's one.
Yeah, they're dudes. And, you know, he's hanging out with Jaquelin Roy. So, I mean, like, I don't know. It seems like he's definitely coming, huh?
Right. I would agree with that.
And the first thing that comes to my mind with all that is, like, the job that Durante Jones is already doing in the recruiting trail. You got him. Who else is we got another transfer? Mike Jones.
Mike Jones, for sure.
Who I think might end up playing safety, actually.
Really?
I think he could play. I think he just might fit into that. I don't know, maybe he's more Jabril Cox than he is
I think I'm an outside linebacker kind of role.
But man, when I look at Mike Jones, I kind of think safety. I don't know. That's just me.
I see him outside linebacker, and I see Buck Strong as your middle.
Yeah, I think Damone Clark's also started. Let's talk about the linebacker position. I think it's very interesting.
We talked about this a couple weeks ago with the spring game, and like we weren't even seeing some of the guys that were going to be playing.
Right, because Buck Strong and Mike Jones weren't even there. Right.
And you have also guys that are going to come in, like Sage Ryan, that are going to come in.
Sage Ryan.
They're going to push for
Sage
time.
Ryan, and then you know who was there though is Derek Davis, and Derek Davis looks like a linebacker,
right?
Because he looks like he's like 6'4", 240.
Right.
He's huge.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And they had him playing DB, and I didn't quite understand that. He got beat deep once, and right when he got beat deep by John Trey, I was like,
no.
I think we should move him to closer to the line of scrimmage.
Speaking of John Trey, we need to talk about our guys.
I think John Trey could be the number 2 receiver.
Well, I think he is. I think our guys at
it's John
Cry
Trey.
Me a River podcast had him on recently.
I saw that.
Theirs.
I saw that.
I listened to a little bit. I listened to a little bit of it today. So shout out to One Team Productions, One Team Media. Those guys. So we have a few of them. We have Cry Me a River podcast. We have Stadium Drive podcast, and we have Heated Agreement, and we have the Function.
Yeah, the Function.
So
the function. That's our only
non-sports.
They're more.
They like sports.
I was asking him. I asked him what he thought their podcast was, and I asked if it was pop culture. Because that's when I listen to it, I think it's like kind of pop culture-y. They kind of talk about rap. They talk about that kind of stuff. And he was like, I don't know if I want to label us as pop culture.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, but that's kind of like what you are. So like,
well, they also they like to. He mentioned something about stogies and bogeys. He didn't realize that we were stogies and bogeys.
Right.
So I think he wants to be a little bit of a. We'll hide the Mads a Soy Boy caption. I think they want to be a little bit of they want to do some golf and cigars with us.
Yeah, I saw he posted that. I had no idea that Elliot played golf.
Speaking of, I need to get in touch with Justin Vincent because we need to do our Justin Vincent podcast here.
So
with our
what
cigars.
do you think about me and Tulane Billy joining in and like and just
unless
just wiping the floor with all y'all?
Unless he gets some kind of like, wait, you talking about the golf?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't know about that.
What were you thinking I was talking about?
I was talking about the cigar podcast. He wants to do a cigar podcast.
Right.
He wanted to call it Guards and Ball, and I think that name is terrible. And I want to.
Man, it's his podcast.
It's awesome. It's awful.
It's up to him.
I want to rename it into something else.
I do support the idea of like shaming people into doing something different.
Yeah, but I want to have
truly bad.
I want to have a round table
I don't think Guards and Ball is that bad.
It's terrible. Gars? Nobody knows what Gars is.
Gars.
I understand
it all depends on who he gets to do the logo, because like if you get a good logo guy, like they can make it make sense.
So I want to get a round table of some cigar guys. You know, we're all smoking cigars, and it's like LSU greats and things like that, and they're talking ball. I get that part, but like, the name is terrible. We got to talk about that. All right, so we're going to wrap it up here, guys. We appreciate all of our sponsors. So let's name them real fast. You're on it?
Go.
You're on it?
Go.
Our Bank of England Mortgage. We got Patrick Meiselman. We got Bogies, Clayton. We got
River City Total Maintenance.
This is Lucas, Ben Landry over at Relief Pools. You need to really call Ben right now. Summertime is where it's at. Brandon Lejean over at Courtesy Automotive Group. And then Adam Berry over at Bear Process Safety. Adam, I love you, Adam. And then Ether Insurance. Adam Memorado over at Ether Insurance. Put your quote in right now at etherins.com. Also, one thing that we need to talk about.
What's that?
I got off a call before we came on this podcast. I had to give Clayton a call.
Oh boy.
This is a big one.
Yeah.
Big one, guys.
It's a big fish.
It's a big one. Had to call Clayton over at Bogies. I texted him.
One might say that we're going to do the fucking.
Yikes. All right. So, Fred's, we all know who Fred's is in town. Tigerland.
Big Moose.
The Big Moose. Fred's, I talked to Jason over there. Looks like Fred's is going to be a sponsor of One Team, One Podcast.
That's so big.
It's a big one. I had to talk to Clayton. Had to make sure that we're good with Bogies because I'm still going to be affiliated with Bogies, and Bogies was here first before Fred's. Clayton even said, "Of course, Fred's wants to come in afterwards. They saw what was going on." So I'm very loyal to our guys.
You got to give Clayton credit for being on there first.
Well, I give credit to Brandon Lejean. He was our first sponsor. Courtesy Buick GMC is going to be on there forever. So same thing with Clayton at Bogies, but Fred's, we're going to be affiliated with Fred's here soon. We'll maybe doing some shows over there. We're going to be doing some shows at Bogies, obviously, but more affiliated with College and Tigerland, and we're proud to be associated with Fred's. It'd be a great partnership with One Team, One Podcast.
Man, Fred's
we
is a fun
those
place,
guys.
man.
It is. They had a big blowout for graduation here soon last week, and we're going to be doing some merch here soon. So we were talking to him about that.
They got a big merch page already.
They do. And they do a big deal with Southern Marsh. We were already talking to Southern Marsh about some stuff.
Right.
So hopefully we get to do some stuff with Fred's here soon. But appreciate everybody reaching out to us today and joining our show and watching. And we appreciate everybody. Matt is a soy boy. And One Team, One Podcast.
Logging out.
We showed you what the GOAT was last year when we beat y'all 50-7.
Let's go! One team!
Relax, big boy.
Team One Podcast?
One Team, One Podcast.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Really good. Yeah.
Why is he so fat?
One Team, One Podcast. One Team, One Podcast. One Team, One Podcast.
One team!